cannot believe your eyes. 10 million fireflies. I wrote that one too. Okay, this is my second video for this channel. Somebody's bag is in this room. I don't know if they're gonna come in at any moment. I wanted to talk about artistry, and I've kind of planned out what I'm gonna say, roughly. And I also want to talk about a very interesting point about what an artist is and what an artist's goal should be. I think moving forward with this channel, it will be beneficial for me to be very honest with you guys. I mean, I know we all have different ways in which we struggle to be fully genuine, and there's a lot of things, at least, I mean, in my opinion, that kind of make it hard to be genuine sometimes, even in ways that may be unexpected. I mean, I basically know already I'm not gonna do it perfectly, but I want you guys to know that I want to be as genuine as possible on this journey of having this channel and making music. I wanna be honest with you guys. We've recorded parts of scratch tracks for multiple of the songs. There's literally like one song that is finished. It technically needs mixing, but there's one song. My older brother, helps me record. Well, that's an understatement. He records, has a like miniature recording studio kind of, and knows how to do all that. And so I want to continue to allow him to record my music and get other people to play instruments, to do harmonies, family members, hopefully, my mom and other people to do harmonies. Because I play piano and I play the drums, and I'm not the best singer, but I am currently singing on my songs and playing piano and drums. I can't play guitar, and it's funny because I want most likely the vast majority of the songs to be acoustic guitar based. But anyways, when I was creating the channel, I was like, songs coming to you soon. That's not true. It won't be soon. I don't know when they will come. Sorry, we have more than one that's done. We have one that's done, and we have another one that's done. Maybe one or two other ones that are close. I want there to be a pacing to this channel where I leave you in anticipation. You know, that's fun. So it's good that I'm not fully done, but I do, you know, so I can introduce songs just little by little. I do want to be fully honest and say that potentially most of the songs are not close. It's just, there's so many things I could say. It's weird thinking about recording songs, and because one of the things I like the most about music is the way certain vibes and aesthetics make me feel, and very much the musical aspect of it. You know, I mean, I guess a lot of people like lyrics primarily, or some people like music primarily. I don't know exactly how I would describe me as an artist. I like music. I like the musical aspect and the lyrics both very much. There is a certain extent to which I greatly focus, and really have always focused on very specific musical aspects. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to music and chords and certain like music theory things and aesthetics and vibes. And if I'm just sitting here playing the piano, that's how I write songs. It's very easy to start trying to make songs sound like the way you write them, especially if you literally are just a random artist who doesn't have a lot of help like me. I do have help, but I'm just saying I write songs, just me sitting at the piano and playing them. So I have to put in extra work, I guess, to think about the aesthetic that I want to give across in my head, because I have to be hearing it in my head. I don't want all my songs to just be an audio recording of me singing and playing the piano. I mean, sometimes that's cool. I have to really focus on what I want the vibe to be in my head. And if I'm posting videos of me, once again, we have some songs that are basically done, but most of them aren't. And if it's just me posting videos, me sitting at the piano playing songs, you can get a certain vibe that I want to get across, but you can't get the whole vibe. And I wanted to be honest with you guys and say that a lot of things are taking a while. I'm still trying to think about the direction I want to take the channel. I've always really liked comedic elements and things, and I've always really liked adding comedic elements in things where you wouldn't like fully expect it. Content that I've made before, like maybe, I don't know, when I had a YouTube channel when I was a kid and I made stupid videos. A lot of times it was almost like creating humorous elements that are kind of unexpected and kind of honestly take it to a kind of silly level. What I'm trying to say is I like silliness, and I want to create an environment and an aesthetic on my page where I can kind of potentially find a middle ground between silliness and professionalism, because that's another thing. In terms of professionalism, it depends on, like, do I want to take this page somewhere really professional, or do I just want to literally just post videos on here and not care about like making it look pretty and stuff? I don't even know the answer to that yet. I can't know the answer yet until I start making more content. That makes it even harder to determine how I want to do it, because I'm just starting the channel, and I don't really know exactly where I want to go. I want to potentially create a sort of interesting dynamic where I make it professional and it's not just some outlandish, ridiculous thing, but also having some interesting, funny elements in there. And I'm still getting to the main part. I guess I'm about to arrive there, basically. These are some of my thoughts on being an artist. And I'll start off by saying something that I guess is similar to the thing I was saying about whatever I was saying at the beginning. I don't know why it's so hard for me to think right now. Artistry is very interesting to me. That, you know, I don't know if part of it is just my generation. I think a lot of young artists, young pop artists, which I don't follow modern day pop artists, but a lot of them are sort of, they don't have the best branding, it seems like, and it's almost on purpose. You know, a lot of indie artists sort of have, you know, silly branding where it's just like, you might go to their Spotify bio and it's like, hey guys, thanks for following me. Here's my number, call me, or something, which there's elements of that I like and that are funny, but there's a certain, maybe a classy element to being able to be unique and simultaneously at least have a certain level of professionalism. I think it's very hard, for me at least, trying to figure out what I want to do as an artist, because the reason I brought up the indie artists is because some of them, it seems like they might not be like the most mature or the most actually skilled people. First of all, they get a huge following. Like, you know, something in me doesn't want to have a bigger audience than I deserve. A lot of indie artists are talented, but then their lyrics to me are horrible. All they sing about is romance. In a lot of cases, all they sing about is sex. Are you really, like, that is your artistry? Like, at the end of your life, you're gonna look back and say, oh, I wrote all these songs about romance and sex, and that was it. My lyrics were never about anything else. How is that artistry? Part of the point I'm making, I want to be honest with my artistry, and I feel like a lot of people my age are entitled, and I don't want to come off as a young, entitled artist who thinks they have more artistry than they do. And I know you have to have branding and promote your channel. There is an extent to which you have to talk, like when you're posting things on your channel, with a certain amount of talking yourself up. I have my new song coming out. They went to this school and won all these awards, and then their vividly imaginative music bridges the gap between this type of sonic idea and this emotionalism that is unique and a new, inspiring artist. Like, I don't want to just say all that about I'm not saying that that's never true for artists. When you describe yourself in that way, I know you have to advertise and brand. There's a certain extent to which you have to talk about yourself in a positive manner. I mean, you shouldn't just saying my music is bad, just know that it might suck. I'm not gonna say that. You shouldn't say stuff like that. I'm just saying there is a certain extent to where I don't wanna just have this air about me where I feel like I'm more talented than I am. I have certain musical abilities and writing abilities. I want you guys to know that. That's basically, like, and I want to express myself with those musical and writing abilities that aren't the best in the world, but I think they're good. But do I think they're like absolutely amazing? No, and I don't want to act like I think that. Somebody left their bag in this room. An alarm, a ringtone was going off in their backpack. An alert was coming up that said, "Find my Mac." Probably about to walk in any moment. I had a visual representation, partly just to be humorous. I'm just gonna play Tiny Dancer. I'm just playing a song. I don't wanna look at the audience like this. You can tell by my face that I'm thinking about the accomplishments I've made in life. Quit doing all that. Play play the daggum song and enjoy it. Just enjoy the song. Look out at the crowd and smile, and don't get why there's this. It seems like there are certain instances, I suppose, where you need to carry yourself in a way to where people don't just think you're an idiot, but balance it out. It's ironic to me that a lot of people, they seem to not be very unique. I'm not saying I'm unique. It's hard to be unique in some ways. I don't know why it's so commonplace to have this air about you. It's just so professional and strict, and it's like, maybe I'm just biased, but it just seems sometimes like it gets in the way of uniqueness, and I want to be honest with myself, and that's another thing. Like, I don't know exactly how to be honest with myself. I mean, there's just so many things that come into play. I mean, there's certain people who are now following my channel where I might post something on this channel if I was being completely genuine in a video, and I would be like, well, this is going to change that follower's opinion of me. Like, that is hard even from that standpoint to be genuine sometimes, but it's hard to be genuine with my music. It's hard to, there's fear, I guess, and I don't have to go into all of that, but it's related to just caring too much what people think. I want to be genuine in my music, but sometimes I feel like hold on. Hey, is that yours?
This is my backpack.
Okay.
What you trying to play?
Noodling around multiple songs.
It's like the most fun part.
Yeah, I feel you. I could have featured him in the daggone video. Maybe he did hear me talking to myself. Thought I was crazy. And there's also the aspect of overthinking, and it's good to overthink to an extent and make sure that you're challenging yourself, making stuff in a very epic way. I really like epic things. Some of you will get that reference. I'm interested in epic things. Very few, I guess maybe one of you will get that. I feel like when you're preoccupied with, creating something like an album or creating something like that that's grandiose, and you want to create it and it's going to be this big thing that you're going to look back on later, that makes it so much easier especially if you're already an overthinker. That makes it even easier to just try and make everything so daggone perfect. Once again, it's good to challenge yourself, but the point I'm making is at a certain point, and really you just got to find out for yourself where that point is. You got to accept what you've made and realize that it's good. Otherwise, you'll keep trying to make stuff that's perfect, and it never will be perfect. We miss how great the things we've already created are. I want to be honest with you guys on this channel. That was basically one of my main points. My second main point is trying to figure out who I am as an artist, and not like you have to figure it out who I am. I don't mean it. I don't try to figure out who I am. I don't do that. I don't think you need to figure out one thing that you are. I'm just saying, my tastes are always changing. Things are always changing, and you're developing, and I think that's the point of an artist. I don't think the point of being an artist is staying cut and dry and doing one thing. It's good to experiment and do new things. But Rick Rubin, not exactly sure who the guy is. Is he a producer? I think he's a producer. And Jacob Collier, two very interesting people. I wanted to bring up something I heard Jacob Collier talking about. Rick Rubin, he's a producer. Jacob Collier is also a writer, producer, he's a musician, singer, plays all instruments. He's like the Mozart of our generation. Some of you are probably going to think that's a hot take. Musically, a lot of people think his music is over the top. I love Jacob Collier. Most of his music is not for me, but I love him as an artist, and he's a lot more genuine of a person than a lot of people who would criticize him are. He had this thing where he was talking about Rick Rubin, saying that art that is created is primarily for the artist. Now, majority of my life, potentially in some ways, like still now, I agree, at least in a lot of ways with the sentiment of that saying, that artist is primarily for the artist. Because you can say, I like to make stuff for people, or you can say, I don't want to make art just to satisfy other people, because that destroys the point of the artist, which I think that's what Rick Rubin would say. The whole idea of I have to make this because I need to make it. I need to express myself through this art. I need to make this film or this piece of music, and it's for myself. And if the audience doesn't get it, then that's fine. That's art. That's the point of art. I very much agree with a lot of the sentiment of that I don't know if I fully agree with the sentiment behind I need to make this. I very much agree with the spirit behind saying things like that, like this is for me. I think art, there's an extent to which it has to be something that obviously that you're wanting to make. You don't have to think it's amazing. I don't think my music is amazing, but I do like it. I like it because I made it. If I made it, of course I like it. An artist doesn't make art that he doesn't like. That sounds like a period of art, like Impressionism or something. Like that's like a new period, the bad art period. Artists just purposely make art that is bad, and that's like it's artistic because it's I don't know. If you make art, you are gonna like it because you made it. And I think there's a lot of truth behind that. But Jacob Collier attempts to refute that idea. He collabs with a lot of people, tries to listen to a lot of different people's styles, and I've heard him say stuff like getting to a point where I don't even know exactly what my tastes even are. And I think that's great when you collaborate with other musicians and get in the studio and not have a certain plan, but rather you would say, you know, let's see what happens. He has a British accent, by the way. I agree with that too. I think it's extremely good to learn from other people. And I guess part of the point I'm making, I don't fully know at this moment what I think about like which one I agree with more, or I don't even know. On a surface level, it really doesn't matter that much, and it's just up to you. But in terms of what I think the answer is on a deep level, I'm not sure. It very much matters that you make art that in some way is for you, and it expresses you genuinely, whether or not it's something that you think the people receiving it are gonna like or not, because it doesn't matter if they like it, because it's you expressing yourself genuinely, and that's more important than catering to an audience. And then I get Jacob Collier's side about learning from other people and however he describes it, coming down from the mountain and receiving this from this person, receiving this from somebody else, and like getting to a point where you don't even know what you even like anymore. I don't know exactly how I feel about that. I definitely agree with him in terms of it's good to learn from others, but in terms of the extent to which somebody ought to do that, I don't know, because I mean, obviously if you're closed off to other people's ideas artistically, that's most likely a problem. But if you don't have to necessarily search for other ideas if you don't want to. Also funny though, because no matter who you are, any type of artist is inherently influenced by what you've been around and seen. David Byrne, the lead singer of Talking Heads, I haven't read this book. My brother just really likes Talking Heads, and he hasn't read the book either, but the lead singer of the Talking Heads wrote a book, and it was at Barnes & Noble or something. My brother read like part of like a passage from it where he was talking about how no art or no music is fully original. The point was like, you can't make something that's fully original because everything you make is inherently influenced by what you've experienced. Like music I make is inherently influenced by what I've heard, what I like, what I'm drawn to. I think there's a beauty in, ironically, not being able to escape certain things that are biases. It is also, there's another side of it where it's cool to see the new creation that has been made from the combination of your influences. I've heard Eddie Van Halen talk about guitar playing. Getting something from this guy, getting something from this guitar player, and it comes together and you have a soup. That's what he said. You ever just stir a pot? It's a combination and it's a new creation built upon these prior influences, and something new is made from it. And I know the way I'm presenting this probably sounds cheesy to most of you, but I'm being dead serious about it. You are the product of multiple influences, and those influences combined to create something new and beautiful. I think that's a really cool idea to me, and I'm excited to show that to you guys through my music. Anything else I wanted to say? I have stuff coming soon, namely some writings. It's coming, and I'm making you guys wait. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what to do as an artist, and I want this to just be a fun channel. I know I'm just gonna learn a lot by doing it. That's how you learn. It's just by doing stuff. So yes, that is it. I will see you guys soon. Harry boys, Harry boy. What is it?